Everybody wants to gain muscle, but what nobody wants is to go through the war required to do it. Everybody's looking for shortcuts, hacks, plans. Let me tell you something. This isn't just about changing how you look. This is about changing who you are. This is a transformation that breaks you down and builds you from the ground up. You don't just lose fat. You lose weakness. You don't just gain muscle. You gain discipline, courage, and grit. You uncover the beast that's been hiding under all the excuses, the late night binges, the skipped workouts. That version of you. That's the real you. But he's buried under a mountain of comfort and softness. You burn fat when you burn the lies you've told yourself. I don't have time. I don't feel motivated. I'm just big boned. No, you've just been lying. You gain muscle when you tear through your limits. When you pick up that weight, feel the pain and push again. You think this is about a workout plan or a diet. No. This is about self-respect. You're not fighting fat. You're fighting the weakest parts of yourself. And the only way to win is to suffer. Embrace it. Welcome it. Because on the other side of suffering is the version of you that never quits, never backs down, never hides. When you're drenched in sweat and every rep feels like war, that's when you find yourself. When you drag yourself out of bed at 5 a.m. to train, that's where you find identity. Not in the mirror. Not in the scale. In the pain. In the suffering. Every workout, every clean meal, every early morning, it's a battle. But you're a warrior. And warriors don't complain. Warriors fight. You're not on a fitness journey. You're on a mission to uncover who you really are. The weak version of you has to die, so the strong one can be born. You think it's just fat and muscle. No, it's about character. It's about rebuilding your mind, your body, your soul. Every ounce of fat you burn is a limit you've destroyed. Every pound of muscle you build is a new standard you set. Keep going. Keep grinding. Dig deep. Because deep inside you is a version of yourself that you've never met. And he's waiting for you in the pain. Burning fat and building muscle is a war against your inner weakness. Fat doesn't just sit on your body. It represents every soft decision you've made. Every time you hit snooze, every time you gave in to cravings, every time you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow. It stacks up. That's earned. It's the physical evidence that you chose discipline over comfort. This battle isn't about vanity. It's about facing the raw truth that you've allowed weakness to take root inside you. And now it's time to go to war against it. You aren't just training your body. You're fighting your own inner cowardice that wants to keep you soft, slow, and average. Every time you step into the gym or hit the pavement, you're not just working out. You're confronting the voice in your head that says, 2, you're not good enough. That voice is loud when you're tired. It screams when you're sore. It begs you to stop when your lungs burn and your legs shake. But that's the battlefield. That's the moment where the weak version of you either dies or gets stronger. You can either listen to that voice or drown it in sweat and effort. This war isn't one-on-one workout. It's one every single day you decide to show up, no matter how you feel. You have to stop treating your fitness like a hobby. This is not a side project. This is a full-scale mission. If you want to change your body, you've got to declare war on your excuses, your laziness, your comfort. That means early mornings. That means saying no to junk food. That means working out even when your body's screaming. And it means doing it again the next day. This isn't about 6 packs or social media posts. This is about becoming someone who no longer negotiates with weakness. Weakness doesn't get a seat at your table anymore. Every rep you grind through is a shot fired at your limits. Every set you finish when your arms are shaking is another piece of armor forged around your will. You're not just lifting weights. You're not just running laps. You're running from the old you, the one who settled for average, the one who avoided pain. Burning fat and building muscle is simply the physical result of winning internal battles. It's not a transformation of the body. It's a transformation of your soul through suffering. Weakness is clever. It disguises itself as rest when it calls itself balance, when you're just being undisciplined. Whispers tomorrow, when the only real time to act is now. This war you're in, it's psychological. Your body can take it. It's your mind you have to drag through the trenches. Every single time you fight through the pain and keep going, you're putting weakness on notice. You're telling your old self, your time is up. You're not just fighting for aesthetics. You're fighting for domination over your own limitations. And make no mistake, this war never ends. You'll have to keep choosing the hard path. Keep showing up when you don't feel like it. Keep pushing when your muscles scream and your lungs feel like fire. Because that's where strength is built. That's where fat is burned. That's where weakness is defeated. You burn fat and muscle by going to war with the easiest parts of yourself and crushing them day after day with relentless force. Comfort is the enemy of transformation. Comfort is a liar. It whispers in your ear that you've done enough, that you deserve to rest, that life's supposed to be easy. But look around. Greatness doesn't grow in comfort. Champions aren't made in cozy routines. 2, you don't build anything meaningful when your feet are up and your mind is idle. If you want to transform, truly transform, you need to chase discomfort like your life depends on it, because in many ways it does. Every day you stay comfortable is a day you stay the same. You want to burn fat. That means you're going to be hungry sometimes. You want to build muscle. That means you're going to feel pain, soreness, exhaustion. That's the price. And most people won't pay it. Most people live inside their safe little bubble, never pushing, never stretching, never risking anything. But growth doesn't happen inside the bubble. Growth happens in the burn, in the sweat, in the moments when your body says no, and your mind screams yes. You need to get addicted to discomfort. You need to run toward it. Transformation is about rewiring your relationship with pain. The average person avoids it. You lean into it. You look at the barbell, the trail, the stairway, and you don't flinch. You let go. Because every time you put yourself in an uncomfortable position, a tough workout, a disciplined diet, a cold morning run, you're teaching your mind that you are in control, not your feelings. Discomfort is your training ground. It's the forge where you melt down the old version of yourself and rebuild something tougher. Every day, you should seek out something that makes you want to quit and do it anyway. Wake up early when your bed feels like heaven. Train when your muscles are already sore. Say no to temptation when everyone else is saying yes. That's how you separate yourself. That's how you elevate. People think the hard part is physical, but it's not. It's mental. It's psychological warfare against the part of you that wants to stay safe. But nothing legendary is built on safety. It's built on sacrifice. Getting uncomfortable doesn't mean being reckless. It means being relentless. It means choosing the harder path on purpose. Not because it's fun, not because it's trendy, but because it's the only path that leads to strength. The only path that leads to transformation. When you live in comfort, you rot. When you live in discomfort, you evolve. The world may hand you softness, but you don't have to accept it. You can build a mindset that thrives under pressure, that sharpens under stress, that grows in the grind. So ask yourself, what did I do today that made me uncomfortable? If the answer is nothing, you're slipping backward. You're feeding the weakness. The more comfortable you are, the further you are from your goals. And the further you are from your goals, the closer you are to regret. Comfort is the cage. Discomfort is the key. And every day you suffer a little more than yesterday, you're unlocking the door to the strongest, most relentless version of yourself. Excuses are the chains that keep you from becoming who you really are. Excuses are poison. They're comfortable lies we tell ourselves to avoid the raw truth. They sound reasonable, even logical. I had a long day. I'll start Monday. But all those words, chains keeping you locked in the same body, the same mindset, the same mediocre results. Every time you say, I can't, what you really mean is, I won't. And when you won't do the work, don't expect your life to change. Excuses are seductive because they let you off the hook, but they also rob you of your potential. Let's be honest. We've all made them. We've all said, I don't have time. But we scroll for hours, binge, watch shows, waste days. You don't have a time problem. You have a priority problem. The moment you stop letting excuses control your life is the moment you start taking full responsibility for everything. Your body, your habits, your outcome. That's when the real growth begins. Because excuses give you something to lean on, and the only way to stand tall is to burn them down. Excuses protect weakness. They justify laziness. They give you a fake sense of comfort, a pat on the back that says, it's okay not to try. But deep down, you know it's not okay. You feel it when you look in the mirror. You feel it when your clothes don't fit. You feel it when you're out of breath climbing stairs. That discomfort, That's your soul begging you to stop lying to yourself. Because you weren't born to be soft. You were born to fight. That version of you, the fighter, is buried beneath years of excuses. The truth is harsh, but it's simple. Nobody cares about your excuses. Results don't care. The weights don't care. The mirror doesn't care. If you want change, you have to shut up the noise and do the work. You have to look your excuses dead in the face and say, not today. You can either spend your life telling stories about why you couldn't, or you can get to work and become the story. You can either keep explaining your limits or start erasing them through action. The more excuses you make, the less trust you build with yourself. And that's dangerous. Because self-trust is everything. If you keep saying you'll work out and never do, you stop believing your own words. You become a liar to yourself. And once you lose that internal trust, the foundation crumbles. But when you cut the excuses and follow through no matter what, something powerful happens. You build a reputation with yourself that says, I do what I say I'm going to do. That's where confidence grows. That's where identity shifts. So rip them out. Tear them down. Excuses are the armor of the average. You're not here to be average. You're to become unstoppable. The only way to do that is to take full ownership. No blaming, no waiting, no soft talk. The real you, the powerful you, the one that was built for more, is on the other side of every excuse you've ever made. Drop the lies. Pick up the weight. Self-discipline is more powerful than motivation. It builds legacy. Motivation is fleeting. It's a spark. It comes and goes like the wind. You watch a video, feel hype for 5 minutes. Then it fades. And when it fades, most people quit. But self-discipline, that's a fire that never dies. That's the engine that keeps running long after motivation runs dry. Motivation might get you started, but discipline is what keeps you going when it hurts, when it's boring, when no one's watching. Discipline is what builds legacies while motivation builds excuses. Everyone feels motivated when it's easy. When the sun's out, when the gym is empty, yeah, that's not hard. But what happens when the weather sucks? When your body's tired? When life punches you in the mouth? That's when most people disappear. That's where motivation fails. But self-discipline, that's where it kicks in. It doesn't care how you feel. It only cares about the mission. Discipline says, get up anyway, train anyway, show up anyway. And that mindset is bulletproof. People wait around for the right moment to work out, to eat clean, to commit. They wait for motivation to hit. That moment never comes consistently because it was never supposed to. If you live your life waiting to feel right before you act, you're already lost. Discipline means you act regardless of how you feel. You eat clean when you're craving junk. You hit the gym when you're exhausted. You do the hard thing even when the easy option screams your name. That's the mindset that creates monsters. You want to burn fat, build muscles, change your life? Good. Then you need to kill the idea that you'll always feel like doing it. You won't. Some days you'll feel broken. Some days you'll want to disappear. But if you've got discipline, real unshakable discipline, you'll show up anyway. And every time you do, you're stacking bricks. Bricks of confidence. Bricks of respect. Bricks of strength. Day by day, workout by workout. Those bricks build your legacy. A body and a mind that doesn't bend to emotion. Discipline also teaches you something motivation never can: trust. When you know that no matter what happens, you'll keep going. That changes everything. That kind of internal contract is unbreakable. When you say, I train every day at 6 a.m. and you follow through even when it rains, even when you're tired, even when the world is burning, you become dangerous. You become a force that can't be stopped. That's not hype. That's not inspiration. That's self-mastery through repetition and will. So forget being motivated. Motivation is soft. Discipline is hard. And that's exactly why it works. Build your day around what needs to be done, not how you feel. Build your workouts like appointments you never miss. Make your meals part of your identity, not a moment of temperature. Live by force. Discipline doesn't just sculpt your body. It shapes your destiny. You want to be remembered. You want to be respected. Then do the work, especially on the days you don't want to. That's where legacy lives. The gym is a battlefield. Each rep is a strike against your limits. When you walk into the gym, you're not stepping into a fitness center. You're stepping into war. This isn't just about lifting weights or breaking a sweat. This is about confrontation. You versus your comfort zone. You versus your excuses. You versus the weakest version of yourself. Every rep, every set, every drop of sweat. It's not just physical effort. It's a direct assault on your limits. The gym is where you go to test your will, to sharpen your edge, to bleed out weakness and earn strength. Most people treat the gym like a casual activity. They talk between sets, they go through the motions, they let the clock guide their workout. That's not training. That's pretending. You're not there to check a box. You're there to break barriers, to face resistance, and dominate it. The bar doesn't lie. The weights don't care about your feelings. You either lift or you don't. You either push or you fold. Every single rep is a decision. Fold under the pressure or rise above the pain. This battlefield doesn't reward the loudest voice or the strongest Instagram post. It rewards the one who suffers in silence. The one who shows up day after day with a chip on their shoulder and a storm in their chest. Every time you pick up that weight, you're telling your doubts, you're not stronger than me. Every pull, every press, every squat is a rebellion against your own limitations. You don't train to impress others. You train to build an inner warrior who fears nothing, especially not failure. When your muscles start burning, when your breath shortens, when your mind screams, quit, that's the defining second where you either retreat into comfort or press forward into greatness. When you keep going, even when it hurts, especially when it hurts, that's where transformation happens. That's where limits break. That's where the average version of you dies and the powerful version of you is forged. Each rep is a hammer swing against the wall between you and who you're meant to be. The gym isn't just for physical growth. It's mental warfare. You walk in with the weight of the world on your shoulders and you leave lighter. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You got stronger. You made pain your ally. You trained your mind to stop flinching. You reminded yourself that no matter what life throws at you, you faced worse voluntarily and came out harder. That's the kind of mindset that can't be faked under pressure, under weight, under fire. So stop treating the gym like a hobby. It's your arena. It's your battleground. And every rep you leave on the floor is one step closer to becoming unbreakable. You don't win in life by being soft. You win by embracing the battle. You win by turning your training sessions into war zones. One rep at a time, you tear down what you were and build up what you can become. This is more than fitness. This is war. And every day you choose whether you fight or surrender. You are not just training your body. You are training your identity. This journey isn't just physical. It's deeply personal. Every drop of sweat, every hard rep, every disciplined meal isn't just building a stronger body. It's forging a new identity. You're not the same person after 100 disciplined days. You're not even the same after one day of doing what you said you would do. Because every act of self-discipline, every choice to push past resistance is reshaping the way you see yourself. You stop identifying as a quitter. You stop living as a maybe. You become the kind of person who follows through no matter what. Working out and training. One is an activity. The other is an identity. When you train, you're not just counting reps. You're building belief. You're teaching yourself that you're capable of more than the world told you. You're rewriting the story that's been holding you back. Because the story most people live by is full of limits. I've always been like this. I'm just not athletic. I can't stay consistent. That story is a cage. And every time you train with intensity and purpose, you rip the bars off that cage and start building a new one. A stronger, unshakable one. You want to change your life? Change how you see yourself. And you do that through action. You become reliable by doing what you said you would do. You become disciplined by showing up when it's inconvenient. You become relentless by pushing through the pain instead of running from it. Training becomes more than physical. It becomes your ritual. It becomes your declaration. I'm not who I was, and I'm not going back. Every time you walk through the fire, you come out with a new layer of armor, a new layer of identity. Your body is just a reflection of your standards. If your standards are weak, your body will show it. If your identity is soft, your performance will expose it. But if you raise your standards, if you set your identity on a foundation of effort, grit, and hunger, the results become inevitable. You don't need to fake it. You become it. You become the person who eats clean because that's who you are. You train daily not because of motivation, but because you refuse to break your own code. That's unshakable. This is what separates those who dabble from those who dominate. Dabblers rely on how they feel. Dominators rely on who they've become. They don't skip workouts because training is part of who they are. They don't eat garbage because garbage doesn't belong in a high-performing system. They operate by a code, and that code is built in the dark, under pressure, in silence. Becomes less about goals and more about principles. Less about appearance and more about honor. So look in the mirror. Who are you becoming? Every day you train, you cast a vote for that person. Every disciplined decision, every painful rep, every moment you override weakness, you're forging something deeper than strength. You're creating a version of yourself that cannot be shaken by setbacks, criticism, or failure. That's what this is all about. Not just burning fat or building muscle, but building a new you forged in the fire of suffering and shaped by relentless action.